Harry. Oh, yeah, Harry.
You know, there comes a time when you're probably on to stop broadcasting. I probably should have quit about 5 years before I passed.
I think we should have quit about 20 years ago.
What am I counting? What do I know? Somebody said something. Lenny says, "I'll get it." He falls off the back of the stage, takes down a couple of the prop trees we got. Down goes Lenny. I said, "Boy, what was in that water?" Well, it wasn't water. I love Lenny Kitson.
Get through what you got to get through, Scott. We'll come back around to it.
We only deal in truth here.
Oh, my God. What world am I living in? Scott Barter's making me laugh.
Don't you feel a little stupid?
My Chester model is only 12.5.
Extra 2,500 gets you the. Yeah.
This certainly beats the $9.99 blow-up doll I got in my closet right now.
I think that was like $19.99.
Well, you got the price discount, didn't you? After my wedding. Was a virgin sacrifice?
Not that I recall. We couldn't find one.
And not in Kenosha anyway, right? Go over there this afternoon. Throw your worm in the water. See how that works out.
Throw your worm in the water means something different in Los Angeles.
Well, it means about the same thing here in Kenosha. Wow. Things haven't changed.
Things haven't changed.
Hell of a show. Dead people and perverts and degenerates. Kind of fits right in here.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the January 6th Fire and Fury edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP, streaming worldwide and booming across the frozen tundra of the Midwest, reaching out to over 50,000 homes here in the Tri-County area, being brought to you this morning by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and the legendary Brat Stop, along with a host of other very fine local businesses. Joining us this morning, our Director of Cybersecurity, a former CEO for Equifax, and also a circuit breaker consultant for We Energies. It is the full spectrum. Elmo Schneider brings light to our show this morning. Elmo, welcome.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Well, that's right. This is our first show for 2018. Many more to come.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What did you do on the during the blackout?
What did I do during the blackout?
Yeah, or would Red not say?
I was actually in a tavern during the blackout.
No! Say it ain't so. Drinking in the dark, alone?
No, I was with blind K-Dog Defkowitz.
Oh, there's a pair to... You know, after the disasters in the last couple of years, you know, when we had the Crack-A-Dome, we had the Dream Playground, and then this year's downtown fiasco, you know. And what happened the other night certainly wasn't Kenosha's darkest hour ever, you know. Hey, and as he is every Saturday, our video coordinator, who probably does his best work in the dark. Look, he's looking. What are you doing back there behind the curtain?
That's probably better if we don't know.
Spider Ronnie, the pants on the ground camera dude.
Good morning.
Hey, now you're one of the very few in town, I understand, the lights did not go out.
Oh, we had power the whole time.
Yep, so did I at my place, but I wasn't there.
So when you found out the power was out in the rest of the city, you just go pull a breaker. So, hey, sweetheart, look at this. We're in the dark for 3 hours. And engineering and board operating.
Right.
We want to make sure we start the year out with
all the right
titles.
technical titles,
Yeah.
yes.
Kenosha, the Kenosha State Trolley Ride this morning, back from his excursion to the North Woods. Wacky Wayne is here in the house.
Yeah, deep into the North Woods.
Well, when you were gone, unlike the last time, Elmo got us in a lot of trouble.
Last time. Okay.
Elmo got us in trouble.
Right.
But we were pretty well behaved.
Yeah, didn't get scolded by people?
Oh, no, I didn't say that.
Okay.
Everything's always my fault. I learned that a long time ago.
Any stories you want to share from the Northwoods?
It was cold up there.
It was just as cold down here, I'm told. Yeah, it was, what was it, like -10 on average? So
that's my blood alcohol level.
Right, probably. Yeah.
Are you still in their will?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay,
I didn't do anything to upset the in-laws, so it all went smooth.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
That's what you always got as advice from three formers. You always have to play up to the in-laws.
Right.
I mean, whether you're in the will or not, because you're watching and you're guarding their little daughter.
Right.
And having two daughters myself, I know guys like you.
No, you don't.
This week, the Kenosha Today Secret Word Challenge is sponsored by Barter's Financial Planning Services. Now that Congress has passed sweeping changes to the tax code, many questions have arisen as to how all this may or may not pertain to your particular situation. So with over 35 years of tax preparation, financial planning experience, let us guide you through all the options that are still available and how you can use the new tax code to your advantage and save the maximum dollars for you and your family. Call me, Scott Barter, at 262-652-6767. Set up a free consultation. That's 262-652-6767. Also, the Kenosha City Brain Trust has pre-selected this morning's secret word, and the first caller...
I was going to say you didn't post the secret word, so the brain trust failed. There is no secret word.
Too many.
It's so secret, even we don't know.
Killed too many brain cells last night. Well, anyway, we're gonna get one.
Make it up as we go.
Here, Elmo, this is your fault again. Put up a secret word. You know, I knew I was missing something, amongst other things.
Right. There you go. Scribble something there, Elmo. Make up a word. Supercalifragilistic.
Coming up after the
Sadomasochism.
That's right. Exactly like that.
coming up after the 10:30 weather break, Kenosha's fastest growing game show sensation, the lightning round of City and Jeopardy, sponsored by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. And then the 11 o'clock break, this week's top 10 thought-provoking category, written at Amen Corner, Where Gray Hairs Matter, on the deck of the Boathouse Pub and Eatery during last night's production meeting. See, we did cover something. The top 10 signs it's very, very cold here in Kenosha.
What, were you sitting on the deck at the boathouse deciding how cold it was?
What is this?
You told him to pick a word. Now it's your fault.
I picked a word.
Yeah.
Is this a legitimate word?
Yeah.
He had to look it up. You saw him on his phone, right?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
You got to remember, he did 7 years of college, so there's got to be a
I
real
had to
word.
think of the hint first.
Right.
So
Oh, okay. See, that's how we do things. You have to think of something clever to give them a hint at the end. You just
Right.
can't let our listeners, wander aimously.
Right, figure out a word all on their own.
Also, during that half hour after 11 o'clock, Stump the Chumps is back, sponsored by Cabin Fever.
Back and brighter than ever.
And Cabin Fever is home to Benny the Backyard Beaver and his Roadkill Museum. We'll have more about him. Hey, last week when we started this again, 2 people called in
Yeah.
and they couldn't stump us.
No, yeah, that's
I mean, so
All
we're
right.
not just playing. We're playing with kind of a full deck. here,
Almost
yeah.
a full deck, yeah.
And there's even more, boys and girls, after the 11:30 break, our special editorial segment, sponsored by the legendary Brat Stop, As the Brat Turns. That's the way to start off 18. This week's High Five Zingers and Doofuses, as only we can do here on this show. And it gets even better for those who might have forgotten. Tomorrow at noon, no more Packer football or Bear football. Each and every Sunday, you can tune in here at AM 1050 WIP and listen to the replay of this show.
But why?
Hey, that's obviously that's Nancy Kerrigan. There's a movie coming out.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Is it next week?
I don't know.
And
I'm
I've
not
heard
paying
some
that
of the
close
clips from
attention.
Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
She got fined, I thought it was $150,000 community service, and she got banned from ice skating.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't recall if Nancy Kerrigan ended up on Dancing with the Stars. But who cares about Tanya Harding at this point in time?
Yeah.
Is this just another way to make money? Oh,
Right.
yeah.
It's-
It'd be 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, at least that.
We have a caller?
We do.
Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Wacky Wayne.
Thanks, Shirley.
Who's calling?
Hi.
Shirley, I know this is a dark, excuse the pun. Did the lights go off in your place?
They did not. We were lucky we did it. The lights were on all the time.
Those grow lights in the garage
I
kept
was
right
gonna
on
say,
going. So.
Those generator that you have for the grow lights would have been
I was
disastrous.
worried, but no, everything was fine. The garage was fine, and we were very lucky. We did not at all. A lot of my friends were in the dark for 4 or 5 hours,
Hey,
and
actually,
scary for them. But no, they did a good job getting it back.
we went to Elmo and I went when it was dark. I got him and we went on assignment, and we went downtown 6th Avenue and 56th Street. And here's what we told the guys from We Energies.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.
And that song was actually recorded by Elmo in his early choir days.
Yeah.
Sounds like Elmo. No, that was very scary for a lot of people. Oh yeah, but no, we lucked out. Ours were fine.
Well, I heard your husband decided he'd had enough. The party's over, and he just went down and pulled the breaker. He says,
Yeah.
"Baby, you're on your own." Speaking of being on your own, this week marijuana was legalized in California,
I know that.
and then the Attorney General Jeff Sessions says he's going to throw kind of a wrench into this. So you might not want to pack up and move to any state quite yet. Because of these rules, state rules collide with federal law. You could be doing hard time.
As opposed to soft time.
Yeah, right. I'm not really worried about it.
Okay. Just
Nobody's been over here yet.
Our
so
job
they,
is just.
They don't know where I live.
Oh, they will now. we know exactly where you live. And after we put the big light on, and Trump's got his finger on the button,
Yeah.
they'll know where you live.
Well, that's all right. I'm not worried.
Right. Okay.
Not at all.
Now that you've said basically nothing and killed 2 minutes of our time,
We'll never get that.
No,
we'll never get
listen,
that.
I want to say Happy New Year and to your great show. I hope it goes on for many, many more years.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank you, Shirley.
Oh, yeah,
Say
thank you.
about
Thank
that.
you. Yeah.
And I listen to the replays all the time. Noon tomorrow, and then when it's on cable, I listen to that.
So when the replay's on tomorrow, what time do you actually call in?
I love it when you're on TV because then I can see all your faces and what the funny things you're doing.
I was going to say,
That's
no, you
cool.
can't.
You can't
only-
see Wayne's
yeah.
face, but we're going to have to.
You can only see Ronnie's.
We're going to have to maybe make a clip or something where you can.
Open up the show with him a little bit, and then
Or not. I'm okay with that. Yeah. You just keep the...
If we go down, you coming with us.
I don't think so. I think I'm okay with being on this side of the
All right,
camera.
we got another call to take here.
Okay, wave at me when you're on the TV.
Right.
Yeah, we'll
See
wait.
Sharon.
Okay, bye. Happy New Year. Bye.
waving,
Bye.
right?
The phone's all lit up. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Hi, guys. It's Cindy. How are you?
Oh, good.
Hey, Cindy, how you doing?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you guys, there's something about Tanya Harding that is, very notable.
But aside from the obvious.
Yeah, what did she do?
Well, she was the very first athlete to take a knee.
Oh, Shirley.
Hey, I work hard on this stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Cindy, you got to take another call. We'll see if somebody. Hey, you think up a stump the chump thing, and maybe you
All
can
right,
get
I'll
by. You
work
can
on
better.
that.
Yeah.
See you, Cindy. We don't actually have to take this one.
Okay. Well, then you should have told me that. I could have talked to her.
You can still talk to her. Cindy's still there,
Hey,
right?
they're still.
What?
Hey,
There. See,
did
she
the-
didn't get away yet.
oh, did the lights go out in Bristol?
No. It was Georgia.
Georgia,
Yeah.
You set him up, she's knocking him down, Scotty.
I guess
Okay,
I had
talk to you later. Bye.
See you, Cindy.
figured that the lights should. That's another song maybe we should bring up.
Yeah, you want to do that at the end?
Yeah, maybe we'll figure that out.
All right. We'll go from there.
So anyway, if you have a question and we're interested to what happened in your neck of the woods, almost 20,000 people. I was without power.
You were.
I was without power, and I was facing.
That means the security system went down, huh?
Exactly.
All the girls escaped.
Well, they couldn't go out through the garage door because that was on a electric. They had to actually go bolt out through the front door.
Through the,
No lights.
yeah.
And
They made it across the moat, okay?
yeah,
They got their shoes and shirt back, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But the tower, the electricity in the Constantina wire,
Right.
that went out too.
Oh,
So
jeez.
I was left almost naked.
Exposed.
Exposed.
Fully exposed. You want to take this one? Yeah, let's
Well,
take
if you'd say so. Good morning, you're on Kenosha today.
Good morning, Scott and gentlemen. I know one thing for sure. They have extra transformers, from what I understand, out in the 17th district. So there was no shot whatsoever of them losing power.
Oh, how many did they put up?
Well, from what I understand, I think it was 24 extra, just to make sure. I want to give a special shout out to the alderman in the 17th for his public service every week he gives on this radio station. Without hearing his voice, I wouldn't know what type of direction the city of Kenosha was going to go into. So I just wish on a daily basis I had somebody as glamorous and as intelligent as that guy.
Oh, Jesus. What'd you do during the blackout?
Well, I did not lose power. I was not in the 17th district, but I did not lose power. I was in the 11th district.
Oh.
Yeah, and that alder schmuck can go too, as far as I'm concerned. Can you guys help me out? I'm a little baffled here as why the federal government is sticking their nose into these states that have legalized pot.
You know, I was asking Elmo that very same thing this morning. Maybe he can shed more light on it than I can. I don't understand it either.
Marijuana is still illegal under federal law. So, and President Obama had ordered the Justice Department to not enforce the federal law, and now our current.
The thing that I'm concerned is that can we just please take the blinders off and perhaps turn over to the 20th century now? Because, you know, everywhere you look around, and quite honestly, you guys will probably agree that the war on drugs is an absolute, I don't know, it's a joke.
It's a joke. Always
anywhere you turn, if I want to get drugs, I can pretty much go get them. It doesn't matter if I know somebody. If you have the cash, you can get what you want. But what I don't understand is the amount of tax money that this is pulling in. And let's face it, people that smoke pot aren't going to go out and they're not going to go out and cause harm. They're actually going to sit on their couch and eat a bag of Cheetos and play video games for about an hour.
Right.
You know, you're absolutely right. Who made all the money back in the Prohibition days? The Al Capones and all the gangsters.
Right.
And so I agree wholeheartedly. We might as well legalize it and tax it and control it. I mean,
well, alcohol is much more dangerous than pot. That's the thing that just is a head scratcher to me. I mean, again, you know, somebody can go out and get smashed in a bar and spend 3, 4, or 6 hours just like that guy on New Year's Day.
Yeah, that's tragic.
Somebody.
That's tragic.
You know, but on the same hand, you know, let's face it. I mean, these states are hauling in truckloads of dough.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
yep.
You know, look at this state, for example. I mean, you're telling me that if we can't legalize pot within the next few months, that the whole budget would be who cares? We've got enough money now. We got more money for education or roads.
Shameful.
It's a no-brainer, and it's a no-brainer, and it just, to me, it just absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. Is that, you know, in this day and age, pot is the least of my concerns, and probably for a lot of your other callers out there. I mean, if people want to go get stoned, by all means, go do it. Otherwise, they're going to go do it somewhere else, and again, it's just going to keep feeding the monster that is the drug culture and the underground drug world. Because
absolutely,
you know, I'll tell you another thing too, with states mandating and they're actually producing pot and they're legalizing it, they're selling it, they're hauling in the tax money. It's also probably a finer marijuana that these people are smoking that they're buying then who knows who you're buying it from off the street and what it's being sprayed with, and then, you know, people are smoking that or doing whatever they're doing with it nowadays. That's all, guys.
I agree. All right, I agree with you. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Yep.
One of the very few guys that calls in here and makes some sense, other than us. Okay.
Really?
Really? Well, you know, he's got a valid point, and you know, if you can control it, but then you're letting politicians control this. But if you know, we have the Department of Agriculture or whoever up in the state at the state level that could, or the Department of Revenue handles it. You know, give them they sell cigarettes, right?
Sure.
Control it the same way, and
why not?
Why not? Not that we condone that type of behavior.
Well, I think should be up to the states as to whether they want to legalize it or not. You know, call your congressman and tell them you want it repealed.
Yeah,
you know, on the federal level.
Call Paul Ryan. Says we want reefer.
Yeah.
Ryan for reefer.
Tip O'Neill.
Yeah, Tip O'Neill.
Get him out of the bar.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you have a comment on should we legalize marijuana like some of the states now have done. California, I think Nevada is also. Colorado's. Of course, everything's legal in Nevada. You can get a girl for a couple $100.
Scott, you could get a new client, Shirley Enterprises Inc.
You know what? It is not illegal to do that. You know, what did they get Al Capone? Not for selling booze. He didn't report
Tax
his
evasion.
income taxes. Now, if he had me for an accountant,
He would have gotten arrested years before he did.
who's his bookkeeper? Greasy Thumb Guznik, right? Oh no, slick. Somebody that's a historian. Greasy Guznik, and the guy apparently. Yeah. Anyway, would like to hear what you did during the blackout, and we're going to have our top 10 or. Turn the City in Jeopardy is going to hear, because we found out what the real cause was. Actually, we have a City in Jeopardy coming up after 10:30, and we're going to get to the bottom of the real cause, because obviously We Energies is not coming forth with the real deal, and they're all pointing fingers.
Me and K-Dog were figuring it was the North Koreans.
Yeah, the one dumb chump's got his thumb on the thing. And also, the big book, Fire and Fury, sold out just within an hour. And some of the bookstores only had like 15 copies. I went on Amazon this morning. It's a 4-week wait. It's $18.95.
What is it?
$18.95, 4 weeks. You couldn't get it before this time, 8th of February.
What book?
Fire and Fury.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you know what Fire and Fury is?
Now the author is coming out and saying, well, some of the stuff in there may not necessarily be true.
He's going to be a very wealthy, and I like Trump's attorneys filing a cease and desist order. Well, that worked out real well, didn't it? And of course, then we got the Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation being investigated.
Yep.
Coincidentally, at the same time. You think they're in trouble, Elmo?
I think there could be in a lot of
trouble.
Depends on who's investigating him.
Yeah, if they're buddy or not.
And the spring election, we can talk about this after 10:30. For school board, there's 3 seats open, and what's his name? The current guy is in there. Falkowski. Mike Falkowski is the only incumbent, and Mary Snyder elects. She files her non-candidacy form. And then, I don't know if this is done by accident or on purpose, Tamara Coleman, who's been there 6 years, doesn't file a non-candidacy form by the required deadline. And so now, by state statute, they have to extend it, which was yesterday at 5 o'clock. And I don't know that anybody has signed up. So other than that, the 3 candidates would be Todd Battle, president of the Kenosha Area Business Alliance, Mary Motter, who's heavily involved in the unions, the KEA, and then Tom Duncan, who's the vice president of United Hospital System. And I guess my question, maybe somebody can enlighten me, what Todd Battle and Tom Duncan, why they would be running.
Why not?
Well, I'd like to hear why they are.
Well, maybe we should have them in the studio and ask them.
Well, when we get closer. And I also want to find out if there's a 4th one, because otherwise you've got, well, there's your 4. But if they had to extend it to see who is going to be chosen there. And then also the alderman, John Fox, is going to have a challenge from Bill Bowman. And then in the 3rd district, Jan Mahouse is going to face Kyle Flood. Now, Kyle Flood, he was the guy down on the school board.
He was on the school board, right?
And had a little problems with marijuana.
Got in a little trouble a couple of times.
Yep. And then...
Do we have a song about him?
You did.
We never smoked weed with Kyle again.
Years ago.
You know, we may have to bring that back right before the election. Just, not that we're endorsing anybody but it's on the paper. I know exactly where it is.
Yep.
And in the 4th district, G. John Ruffalo, who's been there for 20 years, faces Holly Kangas. Glad to see somebody running. And I'm not sure how this is going to work out, because Mr. Ruffalo's jury trial begins on the Friday for his stalking charges, on the Friday before the Tuesday election. So we'll see how that works out. And, of course, here's another question I have. In District 8, incumbent Bruce Fox was appointed when Kevin Matheson skated to Summers, right? And I recall they said that they wanted to appoint a guy in that seat who was not going to run in this election. Well, here he's running, so what am I missing here? And he's going to face Martin, excuse me, it's Cherningerberg. I probably butchered it. I got Martin right.
Let's see.
It's Martin. Maybe you can put some on there. Highlighted there.
Schurenberg,
Schurenberg. That's what I said.
the third. The
That's-
third.
The third.
That's got to be a long road sign next to it.
And, yeah. And then
A fine German name. You don't got to know.
oh,
how to
that's
read
right.
German.
Yeah. And then in the 11th district, incumbent Scott Gordon's going to face Stephanie Kemp. And in that particular, I don't know why the people called me. The biggest issue in that district was the traffic problems at K-Tech West. I mean, it's been going on for years, and the people are upset, and I mean highly upset in that particular district. And so, as I've always said, people don't necessarily win elections. The other guy loses them, so we'll have to see how this...
Yep.
And, of course, incumbent Jesse Downing's facing Dominic Ruffalo in the 16th. So, but my guy, Rocco, the man from Lamakia, he stays.
He's staying.
He's staying unopposed. And so the other ones... Hey, even our good friend, Little Anthony. Nobody's running against Little Anthony.
Well, he does a good job.
He does a good job. Except when he calls here and makes fun of us. So,
It's never makes fun of us. It's always a makes fun of you.
oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's it.
Yeah, we're one happy family here, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, so if you get made fun of, we get made fun of. Is that how it works?
Well, that's usually how it works. I'm going to read
okay.
this thing from Pete's Place, and then we'll take our break.
Sure.
Who's on the weather today? This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the January 6th Fire and Fury edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Coming to you live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP, spreading the love here at Camp Happy Face on our first official Saturday of the new year. Also bringing you gas trolleys, stray cats, backyard beavers, and saving the Kenosha Today Nation from all the perils here in do-over Kenosha. I wonder what happened to that. They were going to do that backyard chicken thing. That kind of went down the crapper, I think.
I never heard anything more about
Yeah,
it.
no, it's not been brought up again.
So,
Maybe they're saving it for this coming year.
oh, yes. It's an election year.
Yeah, exactly. Big election stuff.
Did you bring in that article I sent you about the chickens?
I did, but this guy, I was going to print it out, and I didn't. I'll let you talk about it later. I had some of the other stuff, but I thought that was a little on the gross side.
It was a little gross.
Yeah. And all I can say is this guy, was it in Georgia or Alabama?
I don't remember.
He was cutting chicken heads off with a machete or something.
Yeah, something.
A ball peen hammer, and I didn't think that was appropriate for all the little snot-nosed kids that might listen to this.
Yep.
So, again, we invite you to join the thousands of fans who have already signed up and liked us on Facebook. You can also visit us on the web, KenoshaToday.com. And we are brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and the legendary Brat Stop, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses. Again, joining us this morning, our director of Do Over Kenosha, and if you haven't heard, he was a former circuit breaker consultant for We Energies. Almost Snyder shines the light today.
Good morning, everyone.
That ought to make your mom proud.
Actually, I think that was American Transmission Company that had the rights to the.
Oh, sure. Pass the.
Just want to make sure we're getting the right.
All right.
We don't want to,
Get a
cast aspersions on the wrong parties here. So.
Oh yeah, we do. There's a what's fake
Yeah.
news? It happens all the time.
He's not in charge of the hate mail. I am. What does he do?
We're pretty well insulated with corporations and
Oh, sure.
insurance.
Yeah.
We are. I don't know what you do, but
right.
of course, the 2017 camera due to the year, Spider Ronnie's here.
Hey.
He's all jacked up after not spending 5 hours in complete darkness with the missus. I still think you should have gone out there and pulled the plug. And,
Yeah.
he's got a generator. This guy's ready.
I was chomping at the bit.
Yeah, hey, what about me? Take my lights out. I got a generator. Probably didn't have any gas for it, but anyway, the board operator engineer, Wacky Wayne, tell me the truth, Wayne.
Sure.
When you first heard about the blackout, how concerned for my safety were you?
Oh, I wept. I was
In your pants?
I was afraid that you wouldn't make it in this week. We'd have no show. That'd be 3 weeks. I wouldn't be able to see your smiling face over there.
I told you to tell the truth.
Oh, sorry. Didn't worry about anybody. Power goes out all the time.
They didn't
You guys
have
will
it
be
in
fine.
Antioch.
Yeah, somehow I don't think we're on the same power grid. I think I did okay.
Did the power go out here at
No,
WLP?
No.
Well,
They
that's
were still
just
up and
too far
running.
south.
They got that tinfoil back up there on the 430-foot
Exactly,
tower.
Yeah, it was mostly the north side of Kenosha. Didn't
Well, they hit me.
Yeah. There's probably a reason for that.
I was afraid,
I can imagine.
with my security cameras out.
Yeah.
And the only thing I had that kept me going was I had a little vodka left.
Just a little.
Yeah, well,
You mean Dennis's
it was a
wife
little
didn't stop?
when I got done, and then I had my gas fireplace that kept me warm.
You mean what's her name didn't stop by with vodka and chips?
There is no what's her name.
Oh, okay.
You know that. You're just trying to get me in trouble.
With who? I don't know the inner workings of your personal life.
Also, no one in the first
Skipping
half
around
hour, as moving right along, is one
Boy,
this
Elmo,
morning.
what does Scotty do in his spare time?
Yeah, good.
Secret Word Challenge, sponsored by Barter's Financial Planning Services. With over 35 years of tax preparation and financial planning experience, let us guide you through all the options that are still available to find out how you can take advantage and use the tax code to your advantage and save maximum dollars for you and your family. Call me 262-652-6767 and set up a free consultation. Now, if you happen to mention today's secret word, which we have prominently displayed here,
Yes.
obviously,
We were well prepared for it today.
we'll send you $20 big ones. That we won't send you $10.99 for that. You just have to be on the honor system.
That's right.
Also, this show is obviously being recorded for training purposes.
More likely litigation purposes.
Yeah, okay. Gives our board operator an opportunity to blip out any words. We haven't had to, thank God. For
No,
a
not
long
really. Not
time.
in a while.
Also, special thanks to Elmo for, you can find the Kenosha Today Show 365 days.
Yeah. I feel a ball of confusion fits right there.
Where did that come from? You just were just automatically energized and you had a whim?
Something hit the button.
Something hit the
Wasn't
button.
even paying attention. It just blew off on me.
You know,
I'm like,
last
all
week
right.
when Celovich was here,
He was going through all of them.
I mean,
wasn't he?
I says, let me see your hands because he was getting,
right.
what you call it, happy?
Button happy over
Button
here.
happy
Yeah.
over here, yeah.
Sorry about that.
After the 11 o'clock break, this week's top 10 thought-provoking category, the top 10 signs it's very cold here in Kenosha. And now, boys and girls, it's time to play Kenosha's fastest-growing game show sensation, the lightning round of City and Jeopardy, sponsored by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. And to be eligible, no one from your household could have won any contest on WIP within the last 60 days. We'll now clear the phone lines.
Clear the lines.
And I'm going to read the question, which is a very sophisticated, intelligent, multiple-choice question. You will then get 3 somewhat intellectual answers to choose from. After that, you will hear the ding. And the first caller to correctly answer the question wins a Kenosha Today $25 gift certificate to the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, located at 4917 7th Avenue. Here in Kenosha, open Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., featuring weekly lunch and dinner specials. Enjoy a beautiful waterfront view. In fact, the pond is frozen.
Yes.
All the way just a little bit past the bridge. So
Yeah.
I see these guys.
There have been ice fishermen out there.
Ice
I think
fishermen.
they're nuts.
And then I see the 7 Coast Guard guys walking from the Coast Guard underneath the bridge, and they're stomping to see if they can break through for their training. So I'm thinking, here you got the Coast Guard.
Right. Just stomping around, breaking ice.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, where are they going to be going out to the lake to save anybody in January?
Right.
But that's just me. I think.
Well, no, there's still commercial shipping going out on the lake.
Oh, there is. I thought they
sure.
closed the Sulaks or whatever that's up there.
Well, I still, once in a great while, way out there, you can see a boat.
Well, they ain't gonna be swimming in the water. And you can always tell who the admiral is on this group. He's the guy standing on the dock with the rope and the life preserver. Anyway, a beautiful waterfront view. Stop in their big Saturday and Sunday morning breakfast and Bloody Mary specials. If you're planning a party or a banquet, call Joyce at 262-654-9922, or you can find them on the web at theboathousekenosha.com. All right, here's this morning's very sophisticated question. What was the real cause of the power outage here in Kenosha? The real cause.
The real cause.
A, the city council was meeting and they've been in the dark for years. B, the trolley was overloaded with 2 riders causing a major power outage. And C, the mice at We Energy's treadmill skipped out to attend a Kenosha Today production meeting. 262-694-1050 to first caller. What was the real cause of the power outage here in Kenosha? A, the city council was meeting and they've been in the dark for years. B, the trolley was overloaded with 2 riders causing a major power surge. And C, the mice on the We Energy's treadmill skipped out to attend a Kenosha Today production meeting. Boy,
Look at all these callers.
the first caller.
First caller.
Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today. Hello?
Boy, look at all these callers. The first caller.
Hello?
Turn your radio down. Yep.
Moving on.
Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today. Wayne, how come we're
Moving
getting?
on.
Is that everybody?
Everybody's listening to their radio really loud and not
Try one
keeping
more?
it. Yeah, I don't like it, but yeah.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Everybody's listening.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody's.
Somebody's playing
Well,
games
we'll
out there.
still 262-694-10.
No, it comes up unavailable.
Unavailable. All right. Well,
Damn it.
if anybody wants to play and win 25 big ones, you got to call us on a legitimate number and none of those other funny things that you called in with. What was the real cause of the power outage here in Kenosha? Nope. Okay. Well, we can put this to the side
That's
very
right.
easily, and we don't have to give 25. But if we get a legitimate caller,
I'm waiting to see. It could just be our.
do you have try one?
I'll give it a whirl.
All right.
Good
morning.
Do you have
Yeah.
It's the cold weather.
One more time. Good morning. Good morning on Kenosha today. All right. Well, we can just put this off to the side. We don't
That's
have to
right.
do that. That's no big thing.
They screwed themselves.
If you find a legitimate number that you feel like taking, we can do that. Otherwise, we can move on. Do you want to move on?
Let's move on.
All right.
Moving on.
We were talking about should we legalize marijuana in the state of Wisconsin? I think to do that, we'd have to go to a referendum, I believe. Right?
No, I don't think so.
How do these other states do it?
What? Go through the legislature.
Oh, we didn't have to go through? Oh, okay.
They wouldn't need a referendum. They don't. Nothing else has
Well,
to.
I don't think they're planning on meeting anytime real soon up in Madison.
I'm not sure.
I see Bob Wirch is having a listening session, but that probably comes with the free spaghetti dinner.
Right. I know they have a lighter schedule during an election year
Oh,
to give
oh,
them time
okay.
to campaign.
If anybody has read the new book, Fire and Fury, by this is by writer Michael Wolff. Wolff, right? Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to be the inside the White House by Steve Bannon, and now Trump is saying, well, I never authorized this guy to come in the White House, and if I gave him any information, I didn't know he was going to write a book about it. Well, hello, I mean, I think it should be, like I said.
A lot of the stuff they're interviewing people says, well, I think this is what went on there. It's my opinion as to what happened. There's no real accounts and what.
So, and it's on 1895, and Amazon, you couldn't get it for 4 weeks. So, this
He'll
is
make a lot of money off it.
That's right. I wonder if Trump's going to have a book signing anytime soon.
I don't know. We'll give it a whirl.
All right. Hello, you're on Kenosha today. Okay. All right. And those numbers that are calling, we'll just forget them.
Right now it's I don't know what happened over here.
Okay.
Probably the guys over at We Energies decided to get in touch with the guys that run the phone system, and see, we've gone and upset somebody somewhere.
We didn't mean it. It was just we're fooling around.
Come on, guys.
This was Elmo's idea.
Oh, right.
What was the real cause of the power outage? Well, City Council was meeting, and they've been in the dark for years. That's not a bad choice.
No.
Trolley was overloaded with 2 riders, causing a major power surge. Or see the mice on the We Energies treadmill skipped out to attend a Kenosha. That could be.
That could be it.
That could be the problem. But we'll leave this here, and I can read a sponsor, and those numbers aren't coming up.
Nothing's coming up. So
instead of me taking it, you take it.
What? Yeah, all right.
I mean, not live on the air, but you can take it. And if somebody's got some intelligence, they've called the wrong number. Mm-hmm. And Kenosha City, are you kidding me?
Maybe not. Maybe Dr. Steve's gone. Yep, Dr. Steve's gone.
Oh, well.
I had Dr. Steve.
I think I know who that is. Yeah. If that number comes up again,
if
we'll
it was
take
the true Dr. Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Here we got a...
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Who's this?
I'd like to... The contested...
Sure. Who are we speaking to?
Jerry.
Okay, Jerry. Is this the Jerry I know from the old days?
Yep.
Okay. We don't want to say what days those were, do we, Jerry?
We don't want to talk about the specific days.
All right, Jerry, what was the real cause of the power outage here in Kenosha? I know where you live, and your lights went out too, didn't they?
No.
Huh?
Everything went out in my TV, my computer, and my phone.
Oh, but the lights didn't?
No.
Well, how in the world can that happen? Everything else is...
You know where I live.
Yeah, I know, but I don't understand how one can go out without the whole deal, but at any rate. Anyway, the question on the table is what's the real cause of the power outage? A, the city council was meeting and they've been in the dark for years. B, the trolley was overloaded with 2 riders causing a major power surge. Or C, the mice on the We Energy's treadmill skipped out to attend a Kenosha Today production meeting. Jerry.
A.
The city council is meeting. You're absolutely right. We have a big winner here. Wow. Feel pretty proud of yourself, huh, Jerry?
Yeah, real proud.
So, what did you, I just can't believe, it must have been all the area around you.
It could be. There was quite a few of people with AT&T that they were out.
I just don't understand when the electricity went out, how you could just kept your TV and computer. I mean, I don't understand.
Well, at a certain point, the lines are powered.
Oh.
Well, mine went out because they said that it was, whatever their station was, it froze.
Oh. Oh, so,
Sure,
so
that could happen.
I can see.
Mhm.
Are you going to be out, first of all, as long as I got you on the line, should we legalize marijuana in the state of Wisconsin?
No.
Okay. And the reason why?
It's enough people on crack.
Okay. Well, no, we just said marijuana, not, well, I suppose crack would
Well,
be, it's a form of
a gateway drug.
Not enough drugs.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to get out and buy Trump's new book or the other guy's book, Fire and Fury?
Nope.
Are you going? Doesn't sound like you're too enthused about it, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I don't. Anything else you might want to talk about before I let you go?
Is the sun going to shine tomorrow?
Well, we can only hope, right?
We're supposed to get some snow, maybe a little snow tomorrow. But,
yeah, it's supposed to warm up and get some snow. And I told my wife we haven't had an old-fashioned blizzard.
Well,
we don't need one.
It was. We were just talking about this morning. Groundhog's Day. I think it was February 2nd, 2011, when we got the 23 inches.
Yeah.
Remember?
Right.
And then, but you know, if it snows in February, at least it's not going to stay here for 3 months, unless you're out in the 17th district, and it'll stay there till July. Yeah, that's year round. Hey, what do you think of our old Sears closing? It was inevitable, huh?
That's you're going to see quite a bit more. With the guy that owns Kmart and Sears, and I think he's going to close more.
I think, from what I understand, that Sears, the only way they were staying open because they own their own buildings, and to substantiate all the billions of dollars of losses in retail, they're selling off these buildings and closing things. I don't think they're going to be around by the end of the year myself, but
Well, there's 2 stores in Milwaukee that are closing.
yeah,
right.
So
well, apparently they've got new tenants going into the Sears store. So as long as it's occupied, who
we
cares?
got out in the right time, huh?
Yep, right.
30 years ago. Hey, all right, off the air, Wacky Wayne's going to get your full name and address and phone number, and I'll send you a certificate on Monday.
Okay, sounds
All
cool.
right, thanks, Jerry. Can I take this call?
No.
Okay. Let's see, I read Cabin Fever, and while he's doing that, you know, the jobless rate has dipped to only 3%, but with Foxconn, they're already hiring, competing with Amazon and Uline and all the other ones. Employers are finding it harder to find good workers, so we're offering what better way to seek qualified new hires than to take advantage of the very low Kenosha Today advertising rates and increase your ability to fill these positions. The Kenosha Today Show has approximately 50,000 listeners during the live Saturday morning program and the Sunday afternoon replay, reaching as far south as North Chicago, west of Lake Geneva, and to the northern suburbs of Milwaukee. So if you're looking to fill jobs such as service types, truck drivers, general laborers, warehouse workers, and to include any skilled job openings, call me at 262-652-6767. We'll get you all the information and help you get your efforts to fill those positions. So we can do the rest of these after the break. That's interesting that some people don't care. I think it's the younger crowd, Steve. What do you think about who wants to legalize marijuana? I'm thinking anybody under 40 and the older.
Well,
ones,
there's a lot of politicians that want to do it because they want the tax revenue. Look at our neighbors to the south and the financial condition there and down there. I think Illinois will be one of the next states to seriously looking
They
at that.
should have legalized it a year ago.
You mean it's not?
No.
In fact, I just heard that, they need to broaden they have the medical marijuana.
Right, they legalized it for medical purposes, but the recreational one is the one that makes all the money.
Right, because the marijuana farms are actually losing money right now because based on the size of the facilities they have, they're only running at about 30% capacity. So they're losing money.
Seriously, I don't know that much about it because all the marijuana is grown out in Colorado and California in a warmer climate. But we can't. Can you grow outside marijuana in this climate?
Outdoors? No.
Yeah, no.
It's all indoor.
No, you actually can grow it outdoors.
Just not now. It's not a year-round thing.
Right. I remember this said some years ago. The sheriff's department went out in the middle of some guy's cornfield out in the, I think it was Brighton or Paris, wherever.
In Summers?
No, it was way out.
Okay.
Right now, but these guys had planted marijuana in the middle of this cornfield. So the cops busted this place, and I think it was a good acre.
Yeah.
So they had this big controlled burn.
Right.
So we're all out there. Which way is the wind blowing?
Yeah, right. Let's all stand downwind.
Yeah, there we go.
No, it's a big thing up in the national forests in the northern part of the state.
Oh.
Who's out there? You're out in the middle of nowhere, and
I thought you had to have warmer climate, but
nope, just grow it during the summer like you're growing corn or something.
Well, that's what these guys were trying, and they were trying to hide it. A couple other things we can talk about when we get back. The stock market continues to just rise and rise over 25,000. The S&P, just if you're in the market, but I just has a gut feeling somewhere along the line the bubble's going to burst. I don't know when, but I always equate it to, let's say.
Wasn't there a very large rise before, the stock market crash back in 2009?
There always is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
But you take
Things to look forward to.
Correction.
You take a fancy your bear sweatshirt.
Sure.
That's probably valued at what, $10?
Sure.
And now it's valued some because of supply and demand. They're getting $100 for it.
Right.
Well, it's not really worth $100, but supply and demand dictates it up.
Right.
And somewhere along the line, when the Bears only win half a dozen games in 3 or 4 years, the value goes down.
Right.
Now, Wayne, you weren't here when we announced the new currency, the cyber currency we're coming out with.
No, I missed that.
You've heard of Bitcoins?
I have heard of that, yes.
We have barter coins now.
Oh.
Ain't worth a plug nickel.
And
Yeah.
the value is tied to the value of an expired restaurant gift certificate.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to know.
I can tell that story, but he did some computer work for me.
Sure.
So I was a little short of cash, so I had all of these gift certificates that I accumulated from golf outings. Well, I didn't realize a couple of them were back from 2012 and 2014. Good luck with that, Elmo. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for all the help here.
Let the storage.
Yeah.
And one of the places I think has been
probably closed.
Not even closed.
Down.
They tore it down.
Right.
We was talking about football. Of course,
we
the
have
Packers.
time here?
Do we have time? Are we going? We can talk about football when we get back.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the January 6th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, broadcasting live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WIP on your radio dial. Being brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and the legendary Brad Stop, along with a host of other many very fine local businesses, taking, get this, serious journalism to an all-time high.
Very serious.
Real high.
Reporting on local stories, state stories, and spanning the globe on, we should call this Fire Fury Saturday. How do you like that for a theme? Fire Fury Saturday?
We might want to go back to the drawing board on that one, yeah. There hasn't been a lot of fire and fury here today.
Leaving a light on for everybody. Well, we have our good times. We got a whole hour to
right.
Step it up a little bit.
Bring the fire and the fury.
Bring the fire and the fury.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Shock and awe.
Leaving a light on for everybody. Just spreading some love here this morning. Joining us this morning, our Director of Cybersecurity and the President of Do Over Kenosha. And apparently, since he's no longer working for We Energies as
probably not
circuit breaker consultant, Elmo Snyder is here.
Good morning.
Hey, I understand you're taking applications for the new Perverts World that we're starting for for all those that have been convicted. And for those that haven't heard, Perverts World is going to be located as a gated community in the old Chrysler site.
Well, we may have to expand it here.
Well, we only got 109 acres, and we got all these guys from Matt Lauer and Weinstein.
They keep coming up all the time, more and more and more.
You know, I don't know. Did anybody get accused last week? It must have been.
Yeah, there's a couple more.
Really?
I saw on the news this morning.
We're going to make, and according to the Trump new tax code, their housing, they can take that as a deduction when you get to Perverts World. So I think that's a good thing, huh?
Yep, we'll see.
Do you want to give a number for people to call you?
No, I don't think so.
We'll just call here. Also with us, as he is each and every Saturday morning, our video coordinator, Spider Ronnie, the camera dude.
Hey.
Yeah, he's going to be there throwing out the first towel, sleeping in the first cot.
I'll snap you with that towel.
Roll over, big boy.
I'll snap you.
And performing as both our engineer and our board operator, Wacky Wayne, graces us our presence this morning.
I do indeed.
How do you like being considered a performer?
A performer?
That's what you are, really. You're not only a board operating engineer. Right. You perform.
Yeah, it's technically considered on-air talent, I think, is the actual word.
There's
on-air personality.
On-air personality, if you will.
On-air talent. There's a term that won't apply to me. No. That's got to be a pretty substantial increase in base pay for you.
Oh, no, not at all. No. Not at all.
That's why the Lord's weeping.
Yeah. No, I'm weeping. There's
you're not like K-Dog who gets a demotion and a pay raise at the same time. So
he looked like a lumberjack the other day.
Yeah, K-Dog left. He works for a major corporation in Racine. He's been off for a couple of weeks, and he finally had to go back to his job. And I guess he kind of got lost going in the door, and his ID card didn't work, and they didn't know who he was.
No.
K-Dog. We got some calls there, Wayne?
No, we've got some unavailable people, though.
Well, you unavailable, we unavailable. Yeah. For those who haven't signed to like us on the Kenosha Today Facebook page, I better get on with it. And status of this morning's secret word, sponsored by Barter's Financial Planning Services. With over 35 years of tax preparation and financial planning experience, let us guide you through as many options are still available under the new tax code for you and your family to save maximum dollars. Keep it all in your pocket. Call me at 262-652-6767 for a free consultation. And if you happen to say, just by say this morning's secret word, we're going to send you $20. So how do you like that, folks? We actually have a legitimate word now.
We do have a word.
Written. Are you ready?
What are we doing?
Well, let's try the top 10.
You want to do that?
Well.
All right.
Have I announced that we're going to do this?
I didn't hear anything. We went straight from the secret word that we didn't have when we started the show to the secret word we have now, and we want to do the top 10?
Yeah, what's your point?
You have it. We do have a top 10, right? You don't need to scribble a couple more things down?
Okay.
All right. Let's do that.
Finely tuned radio machine.
That's right.
Written in our home office on the deck at the Boathouse Pub. This week's top 10 thought-provoking category. These are the top 10 signs it's really cold here in Kenosha. Number 10. Stalkers have taken to wearing ski masks. Number 9, increase in icicle-related incidents at Perverts World. Number 8, school district's new dress code permitting off-the-shoulder long johns from the Amish collection. Number 7, a trolley driver says he's happy to see you by hiding the first robin of spring in his pants. Number 6, lifeguards at the new ice rink using super glue as sunblock. Number 5, sludge in Lincoln Park Lagoon is forever frozen in time. Number 4, instead of the finger, visitors leaving Barter Manor now giving the mitten. I had that happen the other night. Number 3, a wind chill advisory is in effect at the Heritage House. Number 2, new trees on 6th Avenue being watered by a Zamboni machine. And the number 1 sign that it's really, really cold here in Kenosha. Long Island curling is now a medal sport in this year's Winter Olympics.
Oh, you've still got 13 seconds.
Oh,
yeah.
I can wait it out.
Okay.
I can wait it out. I must get too nervous and read those too fast.
Yeah. No, they're unavailable. It's okay.
You're not even drinking coffee either.
No, I don't.
He always gets excited about the top 10.
I always, I maintain here. I maintain. Hey, let me read this about our good friends at KRSP. Of course, they got rid of Ted Turner. Not Ted Turner. He's not there either.
Yeah, he's not there either. Yes.
Ted Thompson. And
did they really get rid of him? Didn't they just move him to a different position?
Well, that's a nice way of saying you keep your pension, but
Do you think so? Okay.
Well, I don't know what his contract says or where he was at in his contract.
But, I think he had a year left.
So. Yeah. So write it out, but go over here and write it out.
Okay.
And then they got rid of Dom Capers, and I think, in my own view, the guy they should have got rid of was McCartney.
You think so?
No, not at all.
I every time I see him on the sidelines, he always, when he calls in a play, he covers his mouth so nobody can lip read him.
Right.
Well, we're sitting there at the boathouse on the deck watching them. I know exactly what he's calling. But he's calling the boathouse for extra fries. I just think he looks like the guy in a deer stand, but that's just my opinion. I don't think he's a very smart football guy. And the guy I would have taken. Go ahead.
He did win a Super Bowl, and been to the playoffs how many years in a row?
This is the first year they didn't make it to the
that's what you did for
postseason in 8 years.
The guy I would have loved to have head coach was John Gruden.
Yeah,
that got hired by Oakland. I like him
for $100 million.
Great. He used to be with Tampa.
Tampa,
son of Chucky.
He was an assistant, if I read this right, at Oakland, and they traded him to Tampa. The coach gets traded for 2 draft picks and a bundle of cash back some years ago before he didn't do very well in Tampa. But who's going to be the new coach for the Bears? And
it doesn't matter. I don't know why you think it would make a difference. Yeah.
Well, you got, in all fairness,
it's a rebuilding season. Yeah, that's it.
It's like the Cubs.
It's a
Cubs taking
season.
100 years to rebuild. Right. Any team can have a bad century.
Right. Exactly.
But in all fairness to Dom Capers, he didn't have any players. Everybody in the defense and the safeties and the
they
were all hurt. And I think what's his name? Who's the guy with the long Mathis? He might be toward the end.
Yeah,
I don't know where he is on his contract.
He's getting a little long in the tooth.
He's long in the tooth. Is that a football term? That's what they say in the bear camp at Lake Forest. They're long in the tooth. 262-694-1050 if you want to weigh in on some of this.
For the Packers, I'm hoping the move upstairs for Mr. Thompson means that they're going to put Ron Wolf's grandson in as the general manager.
That could be.
Because he's been interviewing with other teams, and I think if they want to hold on to him, they had to make a move now, or he's going to be gone.
Well, one of the prerequisites, according to this article, is whoever they get should have an extensive experience in football scouting, because that's what Ted Thompson was, and that's how I knew.
That's what Elliot Wolf was, too.
So we'll see.
The other guy, I don't remember his name, Russ Ball, I think. He's more a finance guy, so I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be.
He's not.
You got all kinds of finance guys.
Yeah, he's not a talent guy. So
you need a talent.
That'd be the wrong move.
And of course, we don't talk a lot about sports, but Tiger Woods is scheduled to play in his tour for this year, and I saw him clip some play. And it looks pretty good. He just needs to play.
Well, yeah.
But his swing and everything else is good. Tiger Woods is 40. 40 something. But we'll see how he.
I do have some inside info on the Bears' new coach, though. So
okay.
It's the reason that Lisa Madigan did not run for Attorney General. She's got the inside line as being the new coach of the Bears.
Can't be any worse.
What do you think? You've been a long-time Bear fan. What do you think the problem is? They don't have any players.
Well, there's a whole lot of things wrong. They don't get the right players. You can have a quarterback, but if he's got nobody to throw to, that doesn't matter. If the pocket dissolves because you don't have a front line, it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is.
There you go nitpicking again.
Yeah, right. Minor details.
They actually didn't have a bad defense. And
no, but they haven't had a great defense since Urlacher.
Mm-hmm.
In the quarterback situation, I remember the days when Jay Cutler was there.
Right.
Well, his offensive plan is he took a knee at the coin flip.
Right.
So, that didn't bode well with the locals.
Trubisky looked good this year for first year.
For first year.
Yeah, he put up some significant yards.
The guy
got some wins.
With nobody to throw to.
Right.
I thought the Packers should have, at least in one game, given a shot. I don't even know who the third-string quarterback is behind him.
He played a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He did?
Yeah.
The last game.
Last game against Detroit.
What number was he?
I don't remember. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah. They should have given him a shot. I mean, Hundley doesn't seem to be. He rolls back or fades back, and he's running and throwing the ball to who knows where. So, on the news before we came back here, is Congress has to go back and decide if I understand this right, if they're going to fund the government after January 19th. But yet at the same time, the president wants $19 billion to build this wall.
Right. And I guarantee you that Congress still wants their paychecks. So, yeah.
Oh, those don't stop.
Yeah.
They don't stop. Yeah.
Right.
Really.
Hey,
whether they're working or not. Yeah.
A government shutdown means 17% of the government is deemed non-essential services. They go away, but they still get paid for the whole thing. It's just the pay is deferred.
I still get my Social Security check, right?
Yep.
The hell with the rest of them. I don't care.
Right.
It's all about me. So, anyway, if anybody wants to call us, 262-694-1050 on a legitimate number. If you want to tell us what you did during the big blackout. Also, this article about Trump, I have a bigger nuclear button than one dumb Trump over in North Korea. I mean, it's just...
And mine works.
See, size does matter.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
But this is a guy that's, if he hits the wrong button, you think he's opening his garage, and all of a sudden, there goes, oh, we missed that one. There goes.
I think it's a little more complicated than that.
Hopefully, it's a little more complicated than that.
Well, he made it. He oversimplifies. I have a nuclear button bigger than North Korea. Well, I think these guys are into a pissing match here between them two, and I just hope. Why don't they just sit down?
Well, did you notice that fearless leader over there now wants to negotiate with South Korea over access to the Olympics? That. So maybe you go back to Ron Reagan, peace through strength.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens there. Oh yeah, the Olympics are coming up.
Yeah, in February.
We'll be extensively covering that, right, Elmo? Good morning, you're in Kenosha today.
Good morning.
Good morning, it's Irish Ruth.
Good morning, Ruth.
We've been waiting on a bated breath here for you.
Breathlessly, right? Yeah. Is there anything you want to ask me?
What'd you do during the big Kenosha blackout?
She doesn't live in Kenosha.
She had the lights on. She was doing great.
That's all right. We were listening to what was going on over there, so we were participating in the blackout by way of the red hot airwaves. Well, I want to apologize to you for treating you so shabby.
It's about time.
I did not send anything to you for a Christmas, a card or anything, and I started to feel remorseful, so that's the purpose of this call. I'll do better next time.
Do we have a... I think we have a drop that'll address that somewhere in there.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one you want to use there, so, yeah.
Well, we appreciate
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
That's worth its weight, and bless your family.
No.
God bless your families, both of you.
Now,
and
with your comments, we really appreciate your comments, but you caught us off guard. We don't have no Kleenex because our eyes are tearing up here. Got to use my...
And I expect you believe that. I believe that.
Take that back. I got a full thing of tears here now.
At the beginning of the show, your lines weren't cleared. It was getting a busy signal all the time.
Wait.
So
yeah, that's because I kept mashing the buttons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why no one had been called. All right, bye-bye.
See ya.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of the very few times that we didn't have to hang up on her. Is this legit?
Yeah.
All right. Good morning on Kenosha today.
Morning. Yeah, I have to correct you guys on one thing.
Okay, is this George, right?
Yeah.
Okay, George, go ahead. Correct us.
But John Gruden.
Yeah?
When Oakland traded him, he was the head coach back then.
I don't think he was the head coach. He was an assistant coach, wasn't he?
No, he was the head coach.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, either way.
Oakland back then.
He goes to Tampa for 2 number 1 picks, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was a couple number 2 picks and a whole bunch of cash. Mm-hmm. Okay, George.
Yeah, that was a rotten deal.
For who?
Oakland, anyway.
Hey, let me ask you, George, kind of change the subject, but what'd you do during the blackout? I assumed you were blacked out, right?
I was sleeping.
Oh, so...
Didn't even notice.
No.
Oh. Well, this started at about 6:30. You go to bed that early?
5:45.
Well, that
5:40.
night I did.
Oh. So you were pretty shook up when you woke up the next morning and you found out that life passed you by for 5 hours and you weren't in it.
No, I woke up shortly after the lights come back on.
Okay. That was probably about quarter to
So I had
12.
to go around and reset the clocks and that.
Yeah, okay. All right. So anything else, George?
Yeah, that tells you that ESPN is going to hell
How's that?
in more ways than one. They're cutting a lot of people from that network.
Well, that's for other issues. Some of them are going to let go because of sexual harassment things, but Gruden's leaving on his own to make some, he's get $100 million for 10
over
years.
10 years, yeah.
You can't blame him for that.
Yeah, part of ownership of
Yeah,
the
that's
Raiders.
right.
No.
So we look for big. I wish the Packers would have got him, but
ESPN, their ratings are down due to their commentators making too much political
ESPN,
commentary and not sticking to the sports.
ESPN ruined Monday Night Football.
yeah, well,
Really.
it's Monday Night Football starts too late for me. Anything after 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's pretty much toast.
All right, George, we got to run here.
All right, take care, guys.
Say, George.
Hey, a big thank you to the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. I just want to make sure that we don't leave anybody out. Otherwise you get Irish Ruth calling me back in the first week of December. I'm sorry I didn't make your birthday party.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll see if... hey, look, boys and girls, the clock on the wall says it's 11:20:19 for Ike.
Almost
Anybody
11:25.
knows what that means. It's time for all our listeners to strut their stuff and try to stump the
Oh,
chumps.
that's back.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. We got a sponsor for this.
I know.
Okay. If you're successful in stumping the chumps, you will win a $15 gift certificate to the Cabin Fever, located at 8249 South Sheridan Road. Cabin Fever is home to Benny the Backyard Beaver's Roadkill Museum, which is very true. They have all these stuffed animals all over the
Pretty
place.
amazing place.
Where they feature free food every Sunday during the football playoffs. Or if you don't want the $15, you can elect to come in like Pete did sometime back.
Yeah.
And spend an hour with us.
Yeah,
Actually,
that'll be fun.
He stayed for 2 hours.
He was a stud?
He was.
I wasn't here. I missed it.
Actually, he was from Antioch.
I know he was.
He was thinking he was going to carpool. over
Carpool,
you.
yeah, sorry.
This is a huge opportunity, and I mean huge, like Trump huge, for our audience to bring something of intelligence, sophistication, or just general nonsense and prove to the rest of the Kenosha State Nation that we are barely smarter than a fifth grader. I guess the phone lines are pretty clear.
Yeah, they were pretty clear.
Do make sure you know the answer, though, because we'll check to
Yes.
make sure if
Yes.
you stumped us.
After we're going to take your trivia question or a song title. First caller to successfully stump the Kenosha Today Chumps, which, or you can have a trivia question, which this morning, I'm kind of goofed up here.
Yeah, I see that.
The Chumps this morning consist of Elmo, Spider Ronnie, Wacky Wayne, and myself. Phone lines are clear, 262-694-1050. All right, hit me with your best shot. It's probably going to be the extent of it. Now we managed to kill 30 seconds there, huh?
Yeah, 17.
262-669. If you want to stump the chumps and think you have a trivia question, last week we had two.
Yeah?
And
how'd it go?
I got nobody.
I got one, and
got
Scott got the other.
Yeah.
Look at you guys go.
Yeah.
Not just pretty faces on the other side of the desk, are you?
And Jim Silva just sat there like the deer in the headlights. Huh?
Hank Aaron and Rosemary.
We're a plethora of useless information.
There you go.
Well, we're killing time here. You know, they had the, Kenosha School District has this, they're going to want to change the dress code.
Yeah, they're still working on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it brought up an interesting article in this thing that Elmo gave me this.
Oh, great.
Because if it doesn't work
we
off.
we already talked about the last article
one
he
is
sent
this?
you with the chicken heads.
This
Yeah.
is the one that when we talk about dress codes,
Sure.
in some places you have to have business attire.
Right.
Or on Friday they'd give you
Casual Friday,
where you can
yeah.
wear jeans and
A
sport
dress
shirt
shirt,
maybe.
yeah.
And if you have a specific dress code.
Right.
Now the crux of this thing is, what if you're your employer said you got to come to work naked. Or
where am I working?
Where do we sign up?
Yeah, right. Wait a minute. I'm in the wrong line of work.
You know, like, if you worked at Disneyland, you expect to dress like Mickey Mouse. And if you're a doctor, you have to put on medical scrubs.
Well, wait a minute. If you're running one of the rides at Disneyland, you're not wearing the giant mouse costume.
No.
I didn't read the first line there.
All right.
We have a call that wants to stump the chumps?
I don't know. We got a call, though.
All right. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Good morning. I want to stump the chump.
All right. All right. Who are we talking to?
This is Denny.
Denny, are you in town, if this is the Denny I'm thinking of?
Yeah, probably. I'm in the Ozarks.
In the Ozarks?
Yeah.
Okay, now it's always dark in the Ozarks, right?
Is that near the 17th district?
Is that anywhere near the 17th district?
I talked to you quite some time ago. Probably been about a year.
Yeah, I remember that. I was waiting for you to come up this summer.
I didn't make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, Denny, what's your, is this a trivia question or a song?
Trivia question.
And the question is?
Well, what does a sustained wind have to be, wind speed have to be for it to be declared a blizzard?
Hang on just a minute. Wind speed.
Blizzard. Ooh. Hurricane, I know.
Do you get a lot of blizzards down in Arkansas, do you? In the Ozarks?
We get a few, but not many.
Sustained wind speed.
A sustained wind speed for it to be officially called a blizzard.
I will give it a shot.
All right, hang on. Do we get a margin of error of 5?
Sure.
We'll get a margin of error of 5. 5
yeah,
plus or minus 5.
You make the rules whatever you think.
Okay. Well, we have a margin of error of 5 either way. Okay.
Okay.
I would say 40 miles an hour.
I'll say less.
Well, then you would win because it's 35 miles an hour.
Hey!
Look at us go.
Oh, Denny.
Very good. Glad to see I didn't stump you.
So are we. Hey, keep us in mind when you come up because we're looking, and bring lots of cash and a couple credit cards when you come next summer.
Will do.
All right, Denny, thanks for calling.
Hey, Denny.
Jeez, we're in a roll here. Should we give one more time before? Okay. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Hi, guys. Cindy again.
All right, Cindy. Now we've
So
already
try and stump the chumps.
Okay, this is Elmo and I we're 3 in a row here. So
Yeah.
all right, what's your question or a song?
It's a question.
All right.
Okay. In what sport are the Barani, the Rudolph, and the Randolph all techniques?
All right. Barani. Okay.
Now, don't Google this, right?
We don't. No, we play.
We don't have computers here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Barani.
Yeah, right. Baruni.
Oh, what is it? Barani.
Rudolph and Randolph are a technique.
I'll say highlight.
All right, hang on. Rudolph and Randolph are considered techniques.
Yeah, in this sport.
In this sport. Spider.
I'll say highlight.
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 Do we get multiple?
It's just one sport, right? Is this a?
one sport.
All right.
These are all techniques.
Are these Olympic sports?
No. I don't think so.
Well, I got a feeling Rudolph and Randolph are brothers. So, and Barnock and Barniak and Bernie. Barani are brothers. So this could be a 4-man brother luge, but I'm not. That's not my official. What do you?
Well, that's an Olympic sport, though.
Okay. Or what's you got it?
I'm gonna guess badminton.
No.
Highlight either? That's
highlight?
No.
No.
Okay, I guess we're out of guesses.
I guess I got you. It's trampolining.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that was our third guess.
I didn't know
what kind of sport is trampolining?
I didn't know that was a sport.
That's not a sport.
Sure it is.
Where?
It's on ESPN 8, the Ocho.
Who
asked you?
Okay, see?
ESPN
I knew somebody
8.
was on my side over there.
There you go.
Trampolining.
Is there competitive trampolining?
I guess.
So when you do this trampolining, and what kind of technique is the first one, the Barani?
Barani technique?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. I think that's the one where you jump on your knees and then,
Like what's the Rudolph and the Randolph?
I don't know. That I don't know about the Rudolph and the Randolph.
Now, Scott,
I just found the question. I didn't know all the,
I'm
I got the
disappointed.
answer, but
I'm very disappointed, Scott. With that trampoline you got in the spare room at Barter Manor, you
you
should have
go.
known that stuff. Okay.
You know what? I guess I didn't read the instructions.
that wasn't a Barini. That was a bar. Never mind.
Barterini. And it's right underneath. It's right underneath the trapeze too.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I've heard about that. Okay.
So I got your name and number, and I will send you out some money next week.
Oh, sounds good.
And then you can. I guess we just agreed to just. Oh no, this
is
sorry.
Cabin
this
Fever.
Cabin
You got the
Fever.
wrong
Yeah.
one.
Oh, this is cabin fever thing?
Yeah. You get $15.
Okay.
All
right,
I'll
then.
I'll
Sounds
send you
good.
a certificate, and you take it over to Cabin Fever.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Cindy.
Good job,
Sure.
Cindy.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Boy, it took some obscure trampoline.
Trampoline.
Boy. What the heck is trampolining? But you know what?
I thought badminton was going to be obscure.
No, trampolining.
Like Elmo, you did point out, I have one in my spare bedroom, but and it's right.
Nets around it so you don't get hurt.
Oh, of course. We think I'm some kind of. We got one more call before we take off.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right. Good morning on Kenosha today.
Hey, Scott, how's it going?
Dennis.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, did I tell you that I was in downtown Kenosha when the power went out the other night?
Yeah. Were you alone?
No, I was in a local establishment, but it was no problem for me.
Yeah. I can.
I just ordered a light.
Dennis, you must lead a troubled life.
Dennis just calls so I can use the toilet flush drop here. He's like, man, I haven't heard that toilet flush. I better call in.
That's the
make
second.
Sure Wayne can do that.
That's the second time we've had to use that today.
Johnny on the spot with that stuff.
So
Hey,
anyway,
can you imagine if you were on the trolley when the power went out?
Mm-hmm.
you get stranded on the
You could be
trolley.
stranded for days.
Yeah, nobody'd find you till Easter.
And then what if you were on the trolley with Captain Mike?
There ain't enough vodka in the world.
Well, if you're on the gas-powered trolley, that would
We'd be gassed, right? So you coming in anytime soon?
As soon as I'm sure that there's total power and it can be guaranteed.
Oh, it's been restored.
Oh, it's been restored.
Life is good.
Life is good, man.
What was a bigger emergency, the snow emergency in the 17th district or the trolley outage? The power outage.
Well, the first caller right off the block said he was without power in the 17th district. So I mean, hey, I got one question to ask you. This was an article. Emergency rooms around the state are normally filled with patients suffering from the flu or from injuries related to snowmobiling. But this year's cold snap is bringing patients with an age-old problem. You know what that is?
Frostbite?
Well, kind of. It's medical. It's called. Let's see. What is the medical term? It's chip nips. It's hyper extreme nipple glaciation. I'm reading this. I'm not making this up. Hyper extreme nipple glaciation, and it only cures when temperatures drop below 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So I just want to make you aware of this because part of our job here is to
get your nipples.
Here, Ronnie, are you happy to see me, or you just got frostbite?
You've heard the old saying, "Colder than a."
Yeah.
Well, that needs to be nipped in the bud.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just thought we'd bring that to your attention here.
And if a doctor treats that the wrong way and it's exposure combined with that, with frostbite in that area, the doctor has to be very careful working with that area because it could be torn off. That happened, by the way, in Indiana in a big town one year, and that's how they ended up with the Indian Nippleless 500.
It's really go for the three-peat, Wayne. Then we
want to
go for the three-peat. We got to go. Go ahead, give it to him one more. All right, now there's the three-peat, and I got to go to a break.
All right, thank you.
See you, Dennis.
This is very troubling that a guy would call in and something.
All right.
Troubling. Heading down the home stretch on the Kenosha Today trolley ride this morning. If you just joined us, this is the January 6th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live and streaming worldwide here on AM 1050 WLIP. That's pretty neat. Denny calls us from the Ozarks.
Very cool.
That's
Streaming.
That's a live. That's impressive, I think. Well, at least we know there's one caller. It's outside the
Outside the calling area.
Outside the broadcast area.
Being brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and the legendary Brat Stop, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses. This morning's cast of characters, Elmo Schneider, also from the galaxy called Spider Dome, the head of its spider Ronnie. I didn't do that right either. It was a tough week. Along with our engineer board operator, Wacky Wayne, he's all jacked up now at the winter roadkill season's upon us.
Oh, it's a beautiful time of the year.
We are here each and every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. until noon. Also, if you happen to miss our Saturday show, you can tune in AM 1050 WIP tomorrow at noon and listen to the replay of this morning's broadcast. And don't forget to join the Kenosha City Nation. Like us on Facebook. Status of the Secret Word Challenge to win $20 from Barter's Financial Planning Services is still yet to be named, and we do have one.
Right.
It took us 90 minutes, but that was Elmo's fault. Don't forget, you can still call me at 262-652-6767 to schedule a free financial planning consultation. Put yourself in a position to take advantage of the new tax code. And now, boys and girls, it's time for this week's edition of As the Brat Turns. High Five Singers and coming to us from the Beer Garden in the world-famous and legendary Brat Stop, located on the northwest corners of Highways 50 and I-94 here in Kenosha. They are open at 8 a.m. 7 days a week, 365 days a year, serving breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between. For more information on what's going on at the Brat, call them at 262-857-2011 as the Brat turns like the sands in the hourglass in the days of our lives. This week's High Fives goes to the more than 20,000 people who all worked together to overcome the big power outage this week. What a great concept. 20,000 area residents who basically don't know each other, compromising in complete darkness, I mind you, to help each other and helping those in need during a time of crisis in our city. Now, if we could get these characters in our nation's capital to adopt a plan of action like that, quite possibly our country would be way better off. It's my suggestion that We Energies takes their operation to Washington, D.C., pull the plug on the circuit breaker, and it's the lights out. And since they've already been working in the dark, this should be very easy for them to figure it out. Now the Lord is starting to wake. This week's zinger goes to the Trump administration for meddling into the legalizing of marijuana in the states that have already ratified its usage. Apparently, Attorney General Jeff Sessions will be leaving it up to federal prosecutors to decide what to do when state rules collide with federal laws. We say poppycock. In a variety of states, the people have already spoken, and if they want to roll a fat boy, Big Brother should just butt out. Besides, a policy like this could put a little old lady like Shirley, not her real name, out of business, homeless, destitute, and back out on the streets without a pot to piss in. Get it? Pot to piss in? Get it?
Go for the 4 Pete.
Oh, you're hurting me here. I guess I had that coming. This week's Doofus Award goes to the Kenosha Public Museum for trying to get all these snot-nosed little munchkins to talk to stuffed raccoons. Reading this harkened me back to my preschool days on the playgrounds of Forest Park School when teachers tried to instruct me on the art of talking to stuffed animals. Everybody knows that stuffed animals can talk. They moan a little bit, but never talking directly.
Just send them to cabin fever.
However, talking to stuffed animals and blow-up dolls has actually proved to be very valuable in my later life. Yeah. You'd be surprised what a stuffed toy will say after a couple glasses of wine. And there you have it, folks. As the Brat turns for this Saturday, January 6, 2018. I almost said this 7. I almost made another error.
1918?
Yeah, that's my graduation year. And that's it for that. All right, we've been talking about a variety of topics. If you think that if you were asked by your employer to come in something skimpy, and like if you're in a construction field, you got to wear a hard hat.
Right.
All right. If you're working for Disneyland, you'd be expected to wear kind of a Mickey Mouse costume. Well, if you're like, let's say you're working at hypothetically adult bookstore, you'd want to dress the part and be naked. Or kind of.
I don't know. I think they may have regulation about that.
Well, who cares regulations?
Stinking regulations.
We don't need no stinking regulations. Hey, this was an article out in New Zealand. Apparently, the city.
Wow.
This city had to put a ban on alcohol So what these guys did is went out in the middle of this lake, not too far out because you can see the beach here, and constructed their own sand island. It's kind of in a coastal waterway. And so they put a picnic table out there and they're boozing it up.
That's right.
You know, if the city ever puts a ban on like we can't drink at the boathouse, we're heading for the harbor. We're gonna. We're not. We know what we're talking. Yeah.
Sovereign territory.
Sovereign territory. So we got that covered. And this was kind of a. We got a call there, Wacky Wayne?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That sounds very positive. Good morning. You're in Kenosha today.
Morning, Padre. Oh, we lost him.
Father. Was that Father Marcus?
It was.
Father, call us back.
Oh, Father.
Call us on the Vatican hotline. Anyway, this was from Bowling Green, Ohio. A couple who say their 3 goats have helped ease the husband's depression. Has been ordered to get rid of them.
Yep.
And their version of the Kenosha News reports that they were told during a court hearing in Bowling Green they must remove the animals from their property for a misdemeanor zoning violation. You know, this has got Kevin Matheson written all over it. when he was an alderman, he still goes by the title of alderman, so he's still. So apparently, a misdemeanor zoning violation. You know, you got 3 goats right in the middle of the city. I think that would work okay. Not in my neighborhood, but I mean, can you have farm animals?
I try not to have
farm in Antioch.
You know, I saw a story where another city, you know, they've got the Christmas tree drop-off things.
Yeah.
You know, instead of hauling them to a landfill or something, they got a bunch of goats and came and ate them all.
Well, the problem solved.
You know,
jeez, why you don't have to reinvent the wheel?
No.
You know, and
here's how to get rid of your Christmas trees.
And now
goats eat them.
The only problem I could see is when goats eat Christmas trees, it has to what goes in must come out.
It'd be pine scented though.
It'd be pine scented. Yeah. But I mean, then you'd have the goats. I guess.
What if somebody left the lights on it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Forget the nativity scene. You have live goats out there, and then. But like I said, the problem is when a goat eats a tree, which happens all the time.
Right.
They have to. What goes in will have to be pooped out. So.
Right. Well, they eat anything. You know. So it's.
Well, I think it's a novel approach. Speaking of that, kind of changing the subject. You know, I've been past the ice skating rink, and our suggestion was to have a curling contest.
Yeah,
but
set it up as a curling site.
Yeah, but I don't think you can because, well, of course, nobody's been on that thing in the last week. Maybe it's been a little cold, but $62,000 is money well spent. And my question still is on the table to anybody that might want to answer this. Let's say we get 8 inches or 6 inches of snow. Who's going to be in there cleaning the snow off? I mean, with all the plows in the town out there in the 17th district, there's got to be, like almost as probably some parks guy at $37 an hour. Good morning, you're in Kenosha today.
Good morning.
Father, what happened to you?
Oh, you took a while. I gave up on you.
You know, that happens quite often at Barter Manor.
we thought you fell off the bar stool.
That's not what I heard.
I could answer your call in about 30 seconds or less. How's things?
I was wondering if you made any interesting New Year's resolutions this year.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be a better person.
He started.
Got everywhere to go but up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did we made some resolutions last week? All right.
Yeah, we were talking about.
Yeah. What?
I was going to keep
if I was come seeing you on a professional level, what would your recommendation be? Get your hand on the dump button.
Yeah,
What one thing would you advise me to do to be a better person?
I think it's time for you to settle down and get married.
Again.
Whoa.
Flip that out. Flip that out. Get him off the air. What is the matter with you? You've been out in the cold. Jeez. Are those...
I have you, a farm animal, anything out there. Something wants you.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I have issues.
You're damaged goods.
Well, I have issues. I didn't say I'm damaged goods. I take a shower once a day and clean up and have a nice house. And hey, did you hear about the new trampoline I'm going to be putting in Barter Manor? Did you hear that?
No,
segment?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Cindy called in and she had to stump the chumps and she had a question. Just a second. Back in the alley.
No, I took it home.
Oh.
There wasn't much left.
Oh, sure. Good morning on Kenosha today. Hello?
Scott.
Okay,
this is Captain Mike.
Yeah, we've heard of you.
Why is everybody always picking on me? Because I had a few wardrobe malfunctions. You know.
Nobody's picking on you.
I mean, the robe, I think they rigged my robe. They rigged my bathrobe, man.
Well...